good, guys? Welcome to Black and Yellow. How's it going? No, I'm just kidding.
Rush Hour 4. The jokes begin.
I'm Jungle Asian Jackie Chan, and this is my boy, young Chris Tucker. No, I'm just kidding. Oh my gosh. Imagine. So,
would you kill me if I said I never watched Rush Hour?
you're young, though. I don't blame you if you... The third Rush Hour came out when you were, like, still a baby, I think.
I know, but like I've still watched like a lot of especially specifically like Jackie Chan movies. I've watched like a few of his movies. I've just never seen Rush Hour.
Quick side tangent. I actually did watch the first Rush Hour like recently just to like rewatch it, bro. It I don't know how they would do Rush Hour 4 because there's no way they could capture the vibe of the first trilogy into now because it's a bunch of jokes they can't say today. Like they can't
like it came out. It's for its time from what I've heard. You know.
Yeah. You've seen the meme of like Jackie Chan saying like the N-word in the movie, right?
Oh yeah, I've seen clips of the movie it's a trilogy, right?
Yeah, it's a trilogy.
Yeah, I've seen clips of the trilogy. I couldn't tell you which one is from which movie, but yeah.
Oh right. I want to say it's the first or second one. Oh, whatever. Anyways, for everyone that's usually just a fan of my channel, this is my good internet content creation friend Kardiac K right here. We met through the internet, through certain people that we'll probably get into later. But yeah, it's great to have you, Kardiac, for real. I'm actually happy we're doing this.
I appreciate you inviting me, and we're gonna have a great conversation. We always do between us.
I'm happy we're gonna have a conversation where none of us are gonna be yelling at each other, which is gonna be interesting. Because for some reason,
majority of them,
it starts off cordial, and then we end up yelling at each other.
Yeah.
Let's start off simple, though. I want you to tell me, so why did you decide to become a YouTuber in the first place?
Well, I'm 19. Growing up, like alongside the internet's like blossoming into like truly being a part of everyday life for everyone, it was kind of natural. Like I feel like every generation has some sort of like entertainment career that they fall into or whatever. Like for my mother's generation, she was born in like the 60s or whatever. I know, right? Like super old, but when she was coming into like, okay, let's go into the workforce. We're in high school now in the like early 80s or whatever. You saw a boom in like action movies or whatever. So a lot of like her classmates or whatever, and like we're trying to get into film, we're trying to get into whatever. Same with 90s babies and like rap and stuff like that. And I just feel like for my generation, that was YouTube. Me specifically, as someone who was playing a lot of 2K when I was growing up, a lot of single player games. I was watching people like the Rad Brad come up through their YouTube journey, Agent Zero, Cash Nasty. So it was just a golden time for like me growing up, YouTube popping off, and specifically all my interests popping off on YouTube.
That's actually pretty interesting because so if you guys don't know, Kardiac is way younger than me. So his journey on the internet is like so interesting and fascinating to me because I'm like, that is so different than what I did. Because what is it? For me, I started watching YouTube around like 2006, 2007.
Oh man.
Yeah, and that was the era of like, I don't know if you've ever heard the term Asian YouTube. I don't know if you ever heard that term before, but but the era between 2006 and 2011, I want to say, was like peak Asian YouTube, where when you look at the top 20 YouTubers, like 15 of them were Asian.
Oh man.
Like it was crazy. Like that was when Ryan Higa was popping off. Anthony Padilla is like half Filipino, so people counted him from.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so Padilla is a Filipino last name, actually, if you don't know.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So he's half. So we counted Smosh in there somewhere for some reason. Don't know why we did, but whatever. Yeah, and then like, you know, some of those guys that grew up, you know, really like made it into like the mainstream industry, like Tim Delaghetto, who goes by Tim Changtarangsu now. He busted out and made it to MTV and everything. So I grew up with those guys, like the really old school YouTubers.
Great inspirations too.
Yeah, they are. And honestly, yeah, let's get into for you, do you consider yourself an anti-tuber? Because you do multiple things. Like your channel is very much like you. This is what
Yeah.
you're into at the moment. You do comics, DC, Marvel. You also do video games and stuff like that. So, me personally, whenever someone asks me like what does Kardiac do, I just say you're a very nerd culture and YouTuber. I don't know
Yeah.
what you categorize yourself as.
I think I could fall into, like, there are definitely arcs in my channel's history, and I say history, it's only been like 2 years and like what, 80
Yeah.
videos maybe. But like you can point out like, okay, he's clearly been watching a lot of anime recently. Um
True.
I think at this point though, I wouldn't consider myself like specifically an AnyTuber. Like there are channels that have like been synonymous in AnyTuber. Like their biggest videos are on anime. Like oh my god, I'm completely Eye Patch Wolf. But I think at
Oh
this point
yeah.
in time, like considering the fact that I mean a Garfield video here, a wrestling video here, like his kind of roots in like only just why you should watch Hunter x Hunter, why you should watch JoJo's Part Five, uh, and even some of the different arcs that he's had on his channel, where like of course the State of Shonen Jump videos or whatever. Like I don't think people would consider him an anti-tuber. So I think just off of like the amount of topics that I do cover, I think if you would have asked the average like anti-tuber, they wouldn't consider me. But I do like that is a base, like most of my friends on YouTube are anti-tubers, and I'm really tapped into the community. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, okay, cool. Hey, man. Hey, what? Honestly, as long as you like what you do, I don't see a problem with your channel personally.
Oh yeah.
I just want you to pop off. That's why I'm like, dude, just please, like, do Young Justice videos again, please, please. Like, just.
There's nothing there. The well is dry.
I know, bro. That I'm so mad that she didn't capitalize on that because I'm like, bro, I want you, if you guys don't know, I've been wanting Kardiac to be monetized for the longest time. Like, I just want this guy to be monetized, bro, because I
Zero
love,
dollars.
I love this, I love it the way he edits his videos, dude. It's hilarious. So I'm like, yo, please be monetized. But
Get
anyways,
there one day.
what is your actual goal for your channel? Like, what's the end goal for you at least, or is it just like a hobby that you're just gonna do until like you just don't feel like doing it anymore?
No, I want to turn it to a career. I know my 45 days without uploading says otherwise, but we may get into that later.
Oh,
But I do want it to turn into a career, some type of income, some type of uh what's it called? Like like I said, career job or whatever. Um but I don't want to like super blow up. Like I don't want to be Eye Patch
hmm,
Wolf. I don't want to
right.
be Giga. I don't want to be even Cosmonaut, right? Like I don't want some million, 2 million subscriber channel or whatever. I just want I just want to build a collection of people who can feel at home with my videos. Like I feel like one of the most magical things about YouTube is the fact that it's evolved into a website that is just like a conglomerate of videos that are super relatable to people in any way, shape, or form. And I know for like the past 2 years, there's been like a lot of sporadicness in the types of like content that people are making in like the nerd culture community, video essays or whatever. And I feel like there aren't a lot of voices specifically from like my demographic, not even just necessarily black, but just like inner city minority who like recently got into anime through like it becoming pop culture, got into Marvel through like either a legacy parent or it coming into pop culture, and then like evolving from that into understanding media on a deeper level and like wanting to emotionally connect to the things that we watch and like understand it more. So I really just want to be a beacon of that, if anything, on YouTube, even if that max of that niche is like 200K,
Yeah.
250K. So
I I could totally see you. Like once you get that 100K plaque, I could totally see you being like, all right, this is the peak. I'm just gonna do whatever I want at this point. I could totally
Yeah,
see that. You know
yeah.
what I
I'm
mean?
that type of dude. Like I'm very. It's very easy for me to look around and be like, oh, all right. Well, if this is how I am, I'm good. I will ride this out.
I'm not gonna lie. My expectations are even lower than you for myself. Like I want to get big enough to where this can be side money that I could just have on the side or whatever. Honest to God, if I get 50K subscribers and a consistent like 5 to 10K views on my videos, I'm content. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm pretty
Yeah,
content. Well, also my benefits from my actual job like are just they outweigh
yeah.
what YouTube can do. You know what I mean?
And that's another thing. Like you have that as a backbone. So like YouTube, unless you plan on like quitting that career, which I would tell you you're stupid literally every day of the week if you did
Mm.
that. Quitting that to like bake on YouTube would be stupid. So yeah, this
Yeah.
considering the amount of time that you have, as well as just how you're evolving as a person.
Right.
Uh, like 50 to 100K. Like I could definitely see that for you.
Yeah. I mean, at worst, right? What's gonna happen is I won't quit my job, but I'll go. So if you guys don't know, I work at a hospital, so I'll go PRN, which means I'll only go as needed. Pretty much, they'll call me up and be like, "This person called in. Can you come in and fill in for them?" And I would go in and fill for them. That would be like worst case scenario. Yeah. So if you go PRN, you're basically like an on call person where they're like, "Yep, this person called in. Go in for them. You do your 8 hours or so." Or I've seen PRNs be like, "I could only fill in for half the shift," and you just go in and do a half shift and come back, and that's it. So that's my goal. Is that if YouTube pops off for me, I'll go PRN and only go in like maybe twice a week to fill in, and that's it.
That's okay. That's fire. That's fire.
Yeah, that's pretty fire.
I know
And
the audio just changed. I just realized that it wasn't on my mic. It was on the webcam. I'm so sorry.
oh no, you're good. Hey, to me the sound still feels good. Yeah, actually, off
Okay.
topic. Off topic. I got these. I never showed you this, but I got these for DreamCon. I got these this thing that plugs into your iPhone, and then it'll go into these two mics type shit, like
Yeah,
those like
a
vlog
lapel
things.
mic.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah,
fire.
yeah. So
That's mostly what lapel mics have, because like I had to scavenge the internet to find one that actually had an input into like a HDMI.
oh wow.
I mean not HDMI, a USB port
Oh
into a
USB.
computer
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
instead of
The
like the
iPhone.
iPhone one.
I feel like all those TikToks that do the random like gay son thought daughter type,
Interviews.
yeah, the interview
Yeah,
questions,
like
they
in
all do
malls
that.
specifically.
Yeah,
That's why those lapel mics sell so much.
yeah, of course. So I was looking at the videos you sent me that inspired you a lot. I'm very curious. So do you just gravitate towards like analysis videos, like for the most
Yeah.
part? Okay.
Yeah. Look, if there's a show or like something that I get interested in, the first thing I type in on YouTube is X show analysis. Like
Okay.
it's literally just as automatic as that.
So I remember you had this tweet where you were talking about your three most inspired, the three channels that inspired you the most, and that's obviously changed. I'm just
Yeah, I was about to
curious.
say, let's see how outdated this is.
So if you guys don't know, I might edit this in to show you guys what type of channels that Kardiac was into at the time. AfroSenju, which I believe you're still into, and on it. By the way, I love Afro. Whenever I feel like just turning on a gameplay and listening to him, I just turn on AfroSenju.
He's great.
Agent 00, who's a 2K YouTuber, and King Toxic himself, NuxTaku. Can we talk about this and what happened, bro?
Okay, so when I was getting into YouTube, because I was actually planning to get into YouTube before I actually started it. I was studying a bunch of creators. I had paid for a Social Blade account to where I could see even more analytics and stuff.
Wow.
That's how much I was studying. I was really just like tracking progress of different creators or whatever. And I was like on all these websites, like doing studying data, researching videos, looking at how to make a video or whatever. And at the time, I very much conflated who my favorites were and who was inspiring to me, right?
Wow.
So at the time, and I was talking to Bezos about this a lot. Like at the time, Bezos is an NBA creator, NBA content creator for those who don't know. And literally the only connection between like my content and agents is the camera angle that I wanted to record my videos at. That's the only that's the only inspiration.
That is
It was just
crazy. The
yeah, it's
camera
just literally the setup.
angles. Oh
Yeah,
my
that's
god.
literally it. The only other thing I was planning on it for it to be more, because like I liked how he took uh for those who are uninitiated, Agent Zero historically was NBA 2K content creator. He would make videos on just like the game or whatever, different modes of the game, whether he was rebuilding a team or going through a mode called Park, where you would take a created character online and then just face random people online. Um, and he transitioned from that to as the game got worse, and like because he didn't want to play the game as much, but still wanted to like capitalize off of the game, and that was his image, so he was passionate about it as well. He would just talk about the game. He would talk about the news. He would talk about the drama. He would talk about the updates to the game. And so, in terms of that, of like, okay, I don't specifically want to review anime or review basketball or whatever. I just want to talk about like the overall thing. In terms of that, I guess you could say that's an inspiration. But to be honest with you, that was just a misassessment of me at the time. Like he was just one of my favorite creators.
That's such a
But
crazy thing to be inspired by. I'm not gonna lie. That's so
yeah, just camera
crazy.
angles and then just
Oh my
talking in general.
gosh.
Like
That you
it's so
literally
crazy.
that literally applies to almost like half the entire internet, bro.
Exactly. It's
Like,
like, oh, you talk about things? Inspiration.
oh my gosh.
I'm your biggest fan.
Can we get into NuxTaku, bro? Because that's the most fascinating thing to me. I'm
Ugh.
not gonna. If you guys don't know, NuxTaku actually used to be one of the most entertaining AniTubers that I ever watched back in the day. And by back in the day, I mean like 5 years ago. Um,
It's
and
literally 5 years ago. Like
and
it's crazy.
now it's like I low key kind of want to unsubscribe from his second channel now. Like I unsubscribed from his first channel already because I'm like, yo, this guy's just BSing. And his second
Yeah.
channel is now turning to, yeah, this guy's just BSing too. So I'm like, I don't, man, tell me about that, bro. I want to know what you were feeling about Mr. NuxTaku.
It was it was a combination of things because it goes deeper than Agent in terms of like the level of inspiration. It just changed over time because, like Archie said, like 5 years ago, yeah, he was making analysis content. He was the forefather of like making analysis content specifically on shonen anime. Him along with like Scamboli a little bit, Alexander with Haikyuu and Hunter x Hunter,
He,
and even
he,
some other names.
he was specifically doing troll analysis videos too.
And then trolling
Specifically.
analysis of it. And so he was the bridge of like the older generation of like anime reviews and then getting into some anime like analysis with some of like 2014 Giga, 2015 Giga, and I when Eye Patch Wolf came on the scene, and like the more lighthearted tubers that came after Nux of like Ronin sometimes, what's his name? What's his name? Damn, I follow him on Twitter.
Oh,
Sensei,
oh, Sensei, yeah.
which he doesn't do analysis per se, but like he talks about it and
Yeah.
covers it. So like the trolling that he brought, like kind of brought the weirdness out of anime and like into the videos, as well as just like brought more lightheartedness to it. And it was kind of innovative, to be honest with you, as well as the fact that he had a few series that were still that, but appealed to a much larger audience of like just biggest flexes in anime, where he's just talking about super hype moments or like just super trolling, like honest descriptions of My Hero Academia, and he's just like roasting the cast or whatever. long story short, in reality, I didn't really watch his videos.
What do you mean by
Um,
that?
so as I mentioned earlier, when I'm interested in a show or in a topic or whatever, the first thing, and honestly most of the only thing that I want to watch on that is analysis. So even when I was coming into anime, which also that's some necessary backstory. My introduction to like anime analysis was Nux. Like
Oh, your
when
very
I
first?
yeah, when I
Oh
first
my
like, because I was
gosh.
getting into anime in like late 2018. So when I was looking up Attack on Titan, My Hero, uh, this was before Demon Slayer, but like Seven Deadly Sins, and even like early Black Clover and then Boruto, like content,
Oh
those
my
are literally the
gosh.
5 shows that he was talking about. Um, so yeah, that was literally my intro in 2018, to like a 200k, 100k Nux, but um, what I mean by that is that, like I mentioned, Nux kind of like was the bridge to that. His content, like it spanned from super analysis to super trolling, and a lot of it was in the middle, but still geared towards the trolling side. In reality, like looking back at it, and like you can still see, like, okay, even though this video was uploaded 4 years ago, like I watched this much of the video. Like YouTube will show you which videos I watched. I was watching like every 4 or 5 videos because he wasn't doing that much like just super analysis content. I've never watched the biggest flexes video. I've never watched the honest descriptions video. I've never watched a 4 reasons why video. I've never watched like most of his content. I wasn't watching. So that's the thing about him. Like it was only like one aspect of it inspired me. And then once I like actually looked at other AniTube, like there were more comparisons between my content and like Joey's content, or even my content and someone like Scamboli's content than Nux specifically.
Yo, I did not know he was your first anime analysis video. That
Yeah.
actually like blew me back. I'm like, whoa. I can't imagine some. It's so hard for me to imagine like an analysis video of Nux being someone's first. I'm like, yo, that is insane.
But here's the thing. He was talking about, and this is kind of the misleading thing about like his impact on the community or whatever. I could say, and I said earlier that like he was one of the first to like build a brand off of taking shonen anime series and respecting it in terms of like analysis and looking for deeper themes and such. It wasn't shonen anime. It was just the popular like anime of the time. So My Hero,
Mm.
Black Clover, Seven Deadly Sins, One Punch Man, and
Attack on Titan? No.
no, not even Attack on Titan. Like he had as many Attack on Titan videos as he had like Avatar videos.
Oh, okay.
Um, what was there's a fifth one, but like, and granted, those technically are shown in anime. But my point is, he just made like content on popular shows, so it was really geared towards like newbies or like people who only
So people,
watched like anime on a surface level.
so people like you at the time who were just trying to get
Yeah,
into it. Okay. Yeah, that
yeah.
makes a lot
He
of
was a
sense.
grifter. Let me stop.
Stop, bro. Stop. This guy. Can let's get into the guy that you're still actually inspired by, AfroSenju. What? So his content, from what I remember when I was watching him, was gameplay content. Like he was very much voiceover gameplay. I loved his videos because like he had such a great voice. He was a great personality while playing his game, and I could just have him in the background while I'm like doing something else, either playing a game. I remember I would play his. I remember when I did online Smash tournaments, and I would just have his videos in the background just to like listen while I'm like playing a Smash tournament or whatever, which is
Just as empty noise.
yeah, yeah, and he's great, but to me his content is kind of nothing like yours. So what
It's
inspired?
completely different.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm just curious, like, what of Afro did you get inspired by?
So getting into Afro, it was like early 2019, so like after Nux, but like still before COVID and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got into his content, it was through he had 3 games that he was playing at the time. Star Wars, Fallen Order, the new Pokemon. I think it was Sword. He was
I think it
playing,
was. It was. Yeah.
and he was getting done with Sekiro, and he was getting into a new game um that I don't think he finished. But coming into like him, like of course, like he's doing gameplay commentary. It's like watching the Rap Rat. There's no connection. The inspiration comes from the videos that he was doing in between there. So at this time, he was growing like super fast. Like he was in the middle of going from like 500K to like a million in like maybe I might be stretching it, but like 10 months, if not like a year and a few months. Um, and so he was making a lot of update videos in between because he had challenged himself to upload daily. And then I binged his
Oh,
content once I found him.
I remember that. Yeah, he was doing daily content for like 2 or 3 months straight. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. And these are like the super edited like voiceover gameplay videos with no face cam either. So no easy outs, no like empty content, no just like slow zoom ins, no, like fast cuts, like whatever the fuck. So I binged his content, and he had this series in 2017 and 18 called Senju Tales, where it was just like experiences of his life or whatever. He had some videos that he did with some other creators that he met online over the years. Shout out Omega, shout out Moon, um, Rhyme Style, Kagi Films, also known as Alejandro Saab. He's a voice actor. Um, if you watch like any anime or playing Persona 3.
Shout out
What's it
Persona 3.
called? Yeah, shout out for Persona 3 Reload. But what's it called? And the thing that like jumped out to me in like these videos, the update videos, is that like it would just be so short, but he was like so vulnerable and so transparent with his audience and like so grateful of like the community that he had grown, that I hadn't seen that before, like in a creator of like truly like because the Senju tales were just like story times that you would see from someone like Phantom, but he would always end the video or always talk about like how that related to his life now and how it like changed him to eventually be the YouTuber and the man that he became. And then every time that he would get together with his friends, like his internet friends, and they eventually
Mhm.
started their own podcast called Everyday Beam, they would always talk about like their life experiences and how it related to YouTube. He would talk about his personal life, his personal interests, and he would always relate it to how he developed the platform and how he relates to people and why he's so appreciative. And so that level of like transparency, that level of vulnerability, that level of gratefulness, like showed me that like even on a climb to a million, this man still like on Thanksgiving in an effort to not only keep his streak going, but also just like be appreciative to like the community, is just gonna do a vlog of just like him and his dog. And the entire vlog is him just talking about, yep, this is the life I live because of you guys. Like no flexing at all,
Oh, wow.
no flexing at all, no like, oh, look at my car or whatever. Cause like he was living like an average like life. He was just living in California, and like literally the whole video he was just like, man, do y'all ever have moments where y'all just like sit there and blah 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 blah, do y'all ever like blah blah blah, and it's like he's having a conversation. And so just that level, I'd never seen someone like with that type of platform. Like I said, like I'm mentioning people that I was watching at the time, like Agent, Nux. At this time, I had seen some Eye Patch Wolf. At this time, I had seen some Giga. I had seen some years of the Rab Rad. No one was as appreciative as this. No one was as vulnerable with their audience like this. So when I saw that, like even someone who was averaging like 400K per video, going crazy, and all he's doing is playing video games. He's not even like showing his face half the time. Is still able to like be appreciative and be grateful for such a large community. It showed me that like, okay, there are real people on this YouTube shit. And also like him doing it with his friends showed me that like bonds could be created through that, and like create a shared experience in the community of like sharing ideas, uh and just like genuinely becoming friends basically, because like that's what squad is, like it's just a group of internet friends. um
Is that
So
why you
that's
create?
really where the inspiration came.
Oh, okay. Is that why you created like Loud and Wrong in the first place?
Yep, that
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 makes a lot
that
of
is
sense.
exactly because like Everyday Beam, the structure of it,
Yeah.
there are no rules, there is no structure, and Squad is like a group of 20 something people because it's just like creators that like found each other throughout the years of playing some Dragon Ball games, Baldur's Gate, and just DMing random creators that you're a fan of. And so when they made Everyday Beam, they just made a 25-person Discord, and whoever showed up that Saturday showed up.
I'm
That's
I'm
all it
not gonna
was.
lie, bro. Whenever when I clicked on the video, I was like, yo, how many people on this pod, bro? Like what the what is
Yeah, it was like
this?
I think specifically that day because that was at the start of quarantine. I think like
No,
it might
it
have
I
been like
remember. I
15.
remember this day specifically. If you guys don't know, the video that Kardiac sent me was about the Smash community. And if you've been a long-term fan of my channel, you know I used to be that Smash guy. I was the Smash streamer slash YouTuber. Love Smash. Smash used to be my life back
The
then.
Smasher.
The Smasher for real. Fun fact. I met Mewtwo King at a melee tournament once in Fort Worth. Those were the
I don't
days.
know who that is.
OG, if hey man, if you know, you know. OG Smash legend right there. But what is it? I remember it was July of 2020 when the news broke out about literally RICO charges to all these Smash players of like all their misconduct, their sexual misconduct. A lot of heroes that dude, I remember my brother teared up because one of his heroes is Nairo.
I
Um,
was literally about to ask if Nairo was in that because
like,
that's the one name I remember. The Nappy and Nairo. Those are the only two names I
oh my
remember
god, don't
from
even get me
Smash.
started on Nappy, bro. As a guy that used to be hella into, I used to be a competitive VGC Pokemon player too. Don't even get me started on Nappy. Fuck that guy, by the way. Anyways, but yeah, I remember I legit like almost teared up a little bit because, I remember my routine used to be wake up, get myself a little snack or some breakfast and put on a Zero video because he usually uploads in the morning. Um,
Oh man.
and yeah, now that's gone. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Did you send me that specific pod because you knew I was a Smash player, or was it just something that stuck out to you?
It wasn't because you were a Smash player. It's because I feel like so in that video it's a two-parter. That's the first half of
Yeah.
that episode of the pod. Um and between that one and the next one, I think it perfectly highlights like how as a group they could talk about the video game, they could talk about the creators, they could talk about real life shit, they could talk about how it relates to them, and then in the second half of the pod, they're sharing their own experiences. And like I remember being in that stream and they were saying like all this shit, like this shit is serious, like in terms of creators abusing and misusing and like taking advantage of their audience in a way that like is actually detrimental. And like around that time, this is COVID, so like content creators, Twitch, YouTube was on the up and up.
Up,
It was a
super
big
up.
boom, crazy stimulus packages to everybody involved, new, old, experienced, whatever. And so the amount of parasocial relationships were also increasing. And in talking about a community like Smash or just like most Switch games or just like Nintendo games, to be honest, there's a interesting like connection between these games that like historically are for children, but now have a competitive side to them that invites like middle-aged people and adults.
I'll give you some personal experiences later, but keep going.
Yeah, and so I feel like that episode really highlight that two-parter. It really highlighted like everything that I saw in them that made that group like inspirational to me. The way that they were able to transition from just being gaming YouTubers and like anime fans, and like if you look at season one of the pod, half of their conversations are like an anime Mount Rushmore or like ranking anime villains like they did this past season. But like the other half is like talking about adulthood and like what to do with the platform, and like they can have very serious conversations because this is their life. They're like just like the chat, just like their viewers, just like random niggas. They pay attention to this shit. They're on the internet and they want to understand and know and recognize what to do with the platform that they've been blessed with, and and that they're appreciative of it.
To get into the Nintendo stuff real quick, like I said before, I used to do competitive Pokemon VGC, and I used to do competitive Smash. Competitive Smash was my first love. I was around when Melee was at its heights and everything. I remember this one time I was like 14, right? I went to a Smash tournament. There were a bunch of like 20, 30-year-olds there as well. And they didn't have like regulations of like age or whatever. So you kind of just went in, did your thing, and get out. A lot of them are hella weird, and like whenever you would have like teenage brothers bring their like sisters along because they had to take care of them, these guys are creepy as fuck. Like I don't want to name names because some of them are actually like pretty big figures in the Smash community. If you're in the Smash community, if you put two and two together, I live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I had interactions with a guy that made it to EVO finals. You can put the pieces together. He's been to EVO and went to the finals before. Yeah, he's a creep, low key. I remember he was like trying to get this sister away from her brother to like talk to her or whatever. I'm like, that's freaking weird, bro. You're trying to talk to a 13-year-old? Like, a freaking weirdo? That's insane. And that's why I was just confused as hell. Because it didn't happen to me, right? And thank God nothing happened to me, during that time. But it's like, I would just notice, like, this is hella weird. Like, what? I don't think that's supposed to be a thing. And that's why I will always appreciate Pokemon for what they did. Because in actual Pokemon VGC, they separate by different classes. So it's Junior, Senior, Master. All right? Junior is for, like, the 13 and under. And so it's only 13 and under people. They're usually with their parents, or the adults that are there are like usually screened for like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Seniors are from like 14 to like 18, I believe, or 17, something like that. And then Masters is anything above that. So I'm glad Pokemon, Pokemon had the hindsight to be like, let's split this up because there's too many kids that like this and there's too many adults that also like this. Let's split this up. I've been saying this. Smash needs to do something like that. They do because I feel so sorry for Puppey. That if you guys don't know, Puppey is a Pokemon trainer user of Smash Ultimate. He was such a promising young guy. He made it to top 8 at one of the super majors in Smash when he was only 14 years old. And this bitch ruined it for him. Like, literally, she manipulated him, took advantage of his innocence and his kindness because he was so young. And now he's just another blip on the scene, and he could have been someone. But yeah, he had a promising ass career, and she just took it from him. But I will leave the Everyday Beam Struggle podcast in the description whenever I upload this to YouTube, because you can learn all about those stories if you guys are unaware and not in the Smash community. But yeah, that's that one hit. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't watch all of it because I basically knew everything for the most part.
Yeah.
So
it's old. That was the bad part about like Lincoln when that old. But I just feel like it's surmised like everything that they can.
Yeah. So is that just like what you liked about Afro in terms of like a podcaster in terms of that type of style?
Yeah, mostly
Okay.
just like as less as a creator and more so as a person who's a creator and a friend who's a creator and someone who like wants to share the journey with like so many other people.
Okay, bet. Before I get into some other stuff, I wanna remind you that I did send you a video of a couple of creators that inspired me. What did you think of it, or what were your thoughts on that?
I was
these
watching,
are my inspirations.
I was watching one of them. Well, you only sent one. Actually,
I only said one, but it was like the two creators that like really inspired me.
Yeah, and it's interesting because like I had gotten into what's it called? Um, 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 um the Wild 'N Out like a few years ago, like
Yeah.
very briefly. Uh and like Tim was funny or whatever. I had no idea that he had history as a creator.
Oh, huge
Um
history.
until you mentioned it. And so I'm watching this and I'm like, this is Tim. Like this is definitely him. Um it's just not for me. But
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I can see a lot of the inspiration in terms of like the types of jokes that y'all tell. Your comedic timing is like not exactly like his, but it's very reminiscent of his.
Yeah.
Um and like I didn't go back to watch some of the clips in a while now, but I wouldn't be surprised if like his comedic style was the same and still
Yeah.
had that like comparison to you. So I could definitely see the inspiration, and I can definitely see how, especially in early YouTube and like just the era of the viral video, how like his personality was like perfectly made for comedic YouTube, like
Yeah.
in just general.
Yeah, just to give a little backstory on Tim Changtarangsu is who he's talking about. He did skits and parody videos back in the day, and those were hilarious back then for real. So I remember this was one of his more newer videos, well, newer ish. I don't know how to say it, but I think it was like mid 2010s. He did a parody video of Worth It, where he's like and this whole video is like, which is better, this $1 prostitute or this $1,000 prostitute? And it's like a parody video of like Worth It. It was those type of skits are hilarious to me. I'm not gonna lie. Like taking.
I remember seeing some of those like back in the day. I don't remember if I ever saw his though.
It's hilarious, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I love Tim. For sure. He does multiple podcasts now. He's more of a podcaster than a what is it? Than a skit guy now, because the algorithm and stuff like that. The other guy in that video, David So, very similar to Tim back then, where he did skits. He did skits and parody videos, but on top of that, what I knew him for were his rant videos. All right. So his rant videos were very inspirational to me because the one that made him very viral was when he was talking mad shit about this one, I believe she was a UCLA student. This white UCLA student was complaining that her Asian roommate had parents come into their dorm and like help them do their laundry and stuff. Basically that's what happened, and she was being very racist. She's like, oh, you can't even understand what they're saying type shit. I can't even, they can't even speak English and stuff like that. And why are you being babied by your parents? You know what I mean? It was insane, and he went off on her, and I'm like, if I were to make a rant video, that's what I want to do. That type of video, type shit.
Those were popular at the time too, especially. And I know they hit another like crazy height of popularity once like someone like Rice Gum came onto the scene.
Oh my gosh, man!
He kind of switched it from like the commentary videos that like he was I forgot this, but that you were just talking about. He would be more like, I think like what Playback does now. Or like
okay,
kind of them. Or at least how you described it, because I didn't check out like his background. How you describe it of like reacting to like isolated incidents and like low key moments compared to Rice Gum, who was literally just roasting teenagers.
I'm not even gonna get into Rice Gum. That dude's a different breed. But if you want to what is it? For any of you who are watching, David So, he's also known for his Gundam style parody, because he gets made fun of for looking like Psy all the time because he's Korean and he's fat, which is at the time was hilarious. And two, he had this character that he had in his skits. His character is called Kim Jong-illa, based off of Kim Jong-il, the dictator. So his parody character was Kim Jong-illa. All right, and it's so funny.
At least he took it and ran with it.
It's so you know what's crazy? That character got so popular on YouTube at the time that he said this on a podcast. He was on the verge of doing a TV show with a company that's actually going to be on TV about this Kim Jong Il character.
Oh wow.
Like it was about to be greenlit, and then but then it got shut down because tensions between North Korea and America like were at its height at the time, and then they were like, "Yeah, I don't think we can make this."
Yeah, we can't do this right now.
Yeah.
You look too much like him.
You know what's crazy? He actually looks like him.
Yeah, I'm seeing him now, and he kind of does, but just in the sense that like he's Korean, like he just looks of Korean descent.
He's literally just a Korean fat guy. That's it. He's just a fat Korean guy.
Other than that, there's no similarity. But like, I guess racism wins.
Yo, YouTube was hella racist back then. Like they expected every Asian person to do a Gangnam Style video. It is what it is, man. I don't know what to tell you. You know, I mentioned a little bit earlier about Loud and Wrong and everything. Would you? Okay, I'm not telling you to bring it back. All right, but what I'm asking is, would you ever want to do that style of a podcast again? Would you want to ever like start one again?
I would be up for it, but the thing is that style, which like I said was like heavily inspired by Everyday Beam of like just a group of people, and then like whoever comes in that day comes in because we can make content out of anything. I would only do that with existing creators.
Yeah, I think that was what was was missing from Loud and Wrong, is that not all of them were creators, so not all of them got it. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, and so like the only reason why I say that is because the thing that happened with Loud and Wrong was it was a combination of things. So all the main people who eventually like were the most consistent people on Loud and Wrong, we just ended up getting busier. Like whether it be just getting a new job, personal issues that just like required them to be like away from home. Me, I like started college, so like I wasn't in a secure place to like record consistently or like be on camera that I couldn't control. I also just like didn't have much time because I was in an organization on campus that's like very time consuming. Um, and so like once the main pillars of it that was holding it down like got busy, it was just the end of that. But the thing that I could ensure by like only, you know, doing something specifically like that with existing creators is that uh not as many people would have dropped out like trickling along the way. Because
right.
like I said, it was a rotating roster of like a 20 some person Discord. It's just that those 20 some people like had jobs. Like Sean works at Newsmax, and then it was like high schoolers. So like,
oh my gosh,
it was either 30-year-olds or high schoolers, and like we all met online. I think because we started in what 20. We started in
2021.
2021.
I think it's
So
21.
yeah, we started in 2021. So most of us hadn't even known each other for like a year either. So like we were cool and like we were talking every day because like it was the tail end of like COVID, and we were on Discord all the time. But in terms of like having that on camera chemistry of like understanding how to make content, how to transition, how to dedicate to like, you know, making this thing that has a slim chance into actual opportunity, there wasn't a consistent understanding.
Hmm.
Um, even on my part, in terms of just like podcasting and like trying to manage like personalities. Uh, so yeah, specifically like Loud and Wrong with like the rotating roster, I would only do something like that with like a group of existing creators. But specifically like just like different podcasts, um, like projects. Literally everyone that's been on Loud and Wrong, I have like multiple projects planned in the future of like when I eventually get established of like, you know, if they're still interested and if we're still cool, of course, like bringing them into the fold and doing this type of thing on a Patreon, doing this type of thing on somebody's channel, doing this type of thing on my channel or on a second channel. Um, but ideas are just ideas. be honest
Yeah,
with you.
exactly. I'm not gonna lie, a rotating roster that big, I would like to just like pop in, but I would not want any part of the planning process on that.
Oh yeah.
That's kind of above me, honestly.
It's another thing. There was no planning process.
Exactly.
We were just sending tweets. Like I would, if someone came in and was on like 2 pods in a row, you got the role to be in the channel that had all the passwords. That was it. That was it. That was it.
Oh man. Now Loud and Wrong Twitter is just an alt account for someone.
It is just Uggs all together. That is all it is.
Oh man. Okay,
I like how
so
whenever he hops into space, my fault. But like whenever he
no,
hops
you're
into
good.
space, everyone in the space is like, "Okay, how you do it?" Like, cause everyone just knows
We just
he's
know
the only
it.
person that uses the account. J Hop, but that's the thing. J Hop on it sometimes. I think he still does.
Maybe once or twice. I can't remember.
But,
Um.
yeah.
Okay, so to give a little preface, me and Kardiac met because we are part of a community with this podcast called Let's Keep It a Buck. Fun fact: Kardiac actually used to work for them, which
Yep.
yeah, and he had a whole pod dedicated to Kardiac, which is kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie.
Which was crazy, and that was before I was working for.
Yeah.
That was before.
Oh, the beginning times, bro. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Anyways,
OG.
so why did you quit working for Let's Keep It a Buck? I don't remember if you ever told me in detail. I just remember you said you quit due to being busy, but I don't know if you had like a specific reason for it or if you actually got fired. I don't know if you want to reveal that, but
Oh no, I was
oh,
fired.
oh okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, I won't say that I was like irreplaceable. I mean, they have like 3 people making shorts now.
Hmm.
But it was a combination of I was getting busy. Like I knew that I was about to go to college, and like I mentioned before, not only was like my workplace um like it wasn't stable, but
Hmm.
also like I said, I'm in college marching band at a historically black college and university. We have crazy practices, so I really can't control. I'm not in control of my time when I'm on campus, and also uh the amount of time that I was spending on like each short, because I was getting super detailed. I'm not gonna lie, and like I was improving along with the job, and with that improvement, I became more efficient,
Hmm.
but I also started to incorporate more edits. I started to incorporate more details of like, okay, finding this timestamp. And at the time, especially early on, no one was doing the timestamps, so I had to do 'em. So incorporating the timestamp, uh, and I was doing all this on a laptop. And
Yeah.
for half of my senior year, I didn't have an off period, so I was doing them in class.
Hey.
So
Oh.
I really was just like busy for the most part.
Doing them in
And
class is crazy, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah,
In
like
class is crazy.
I didn't care about calculus. I couldn't have done anything
Senioritis
else.
hit real quick.
For sure, for sure. It hit my sophomore year when I first got to that shit. Um, but between that and like I wasn't getting paid enough to justify me doing that. So
True.
that's it.
Did you ever try negotiating to get a higher pay on that, or?
Uh, no, because at
Oh,
the
okay.
time, no, they weren't in a position
Oh, okay. I was
to
just
really.
curious.
Yeah.
Anyways, so for real, let's be for real for a second. Do you still like Let's Keep It a Buck as a podcast? And then the second part to that question is, do you still like Let's Keep It a Buck as a community?
Uh, I still like them as a podcast because and it's hard to separate like the fact that like I watch them because I'm friends with like just about everybody on the pod
Oh,
from.
let's separate what happened with Sage last time, but let's separate that.
Oh yeah, I'm not even including that.
Yeah.
But what's it called? Like it's hard for me to separate like the fact that I'm friends with everybody from
Mhm.
like me watching the pod because like honestly like half of my subscription feed now is like my friends. So, but I still do like find myself like, okay, I'm listening to the pod, but like I'm also engaged. And I also like, okay, I'm gonna remember this next time I talk to souls, or I'm gonna remember this next time like I think about like this topic or whatever. Because like my feed doesn't keep up with like everything in Hollywood or whatever. And some stuff is like cool to know. Some stuff they talk about, and I'm like, okay, I would rather kill myself than listen to this. But like that's
Crazy.
anything. That's anything, to be honest.
Yeah.
But overall, I still do enjoy the pod, even separate from them like being my friends, because I can't think of another podcast that has people from different walks of life. Most of who, well, not really, but like
Yeah.
most of who are, no, I mean this next part. Most of who are established creators, with different interests, talking about media, media pop culture, and like trending events from the perspective of minorities. Like
Yeah.
there aren't too many like podcasts or experiences like that. So if it weren't literally like aside from Everyday Beam, that's the only podcast I found that does that. So I would still say that I enjoy the pod. And then the second question,
As a community, do you still like
as
the community?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Um, what's it called? I'm friends. Like I'm very easy to get along with. Like I
Okay.
can't. There aren't too many people that like I'm on bad terms with. Like personally, like, oh, we just got in an argument that was just too bad, or like you just said something or I just said something that just went too far. There aren't too many people like in the world, let alone on the internet, that I'm like
Mhm.
that with. So just about everybody that's come into the community these past 3 years, I've met in some way, shape, or form. I've had conversations with them. We've been in the Discord till like 2 a.m. talking, and like we cool. Um, and that's even the case for like some of the newer people. I was in the Discord the other day, until like 1 a.m. talking about well, at first it was me and Ali arguing about whether rebounding is included in defense. Um,
I
I
think
know, right? Like
it's
such a
it's
crazy
both,
thing.
but I mean, it's both offense and
I don't
defense.
I don't include it like in either.
You don't include at all.
Yeah, no. I don't include defensive rebounding as a part of defense, nor offensive rebounding as a part of offense.
That's interesting.
I view I
I
view
don't.
rebounding as its own thing.
I don't have a strong view on it, so yeah, I'll just take your word
Yeah,
for it.
that conversation lasted like 2 hours.
Jesus Christ.
But after that, I was talking to not Zeke, somebody in there. I don't even remember
Hmm.
dude's name. But he ended up being white. I found out like later in the conversation. I was like,
That's
damn,
crazy.
talking to a white person for this long. But he was cool. Like he was cool. We were just talking about like school. We were talking about basketball. We were talking about passion. We were talking about like just like side careers. And like I can't go anywhere for those conversations. Like, where would I go? Would I go in the Dude Dennis Discord and have those
No.
conversations? No. Like, would I go? Like the only two communities I've been in that I can have those conversations is your podcast and Rivers podcast. The shout out the flow,
Shout out the
and then
flow.
let's keep it a buck. But like the discords and like communities I've been in, like even Afro's old Discord, niggas were too busy dick sucking to talk about real life. Like going in, I've
Mm.
been joining some Discords recently, uh, but the only place to find that is like in a Discord that has like 300 people or whatever. Like
Hmm.
shout out Comic Storian. Some people be on some real shit talking about like real life stuff in there, just like jumping from topic to topic. But yeah, that's not too often. So yeah, the uniqueness of the community, I really like it. I
Yeah.
really do.
I think the reason why people just talk so casually in there is because the Let's Keep It a Buck like hosts don't make them above everyone. They feel very just like people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So no one really dick sucks them except for Dwayne. Um
Tia so do it.
that dude, he's never letting that go.
No,
Um
you just never leave him. And he's a dumb dick sucker now too. So
oh
he's
no, he's a dick sucker for like all of them to be honest with you.
well,
Um but yeah, he the community is very much like people based. I'm not gonna lie, you're better than me. I know certain personality types that I like and dislike. So there are gonna be some people, I'm be honest, at DreamCon where I'm just gonna dap them up and be like, "Yo, what's good?" glad to meet you, and then that's it. I don't want to talk to them after
Yeah.
that. It's more like, be cool, and that's it.
You
Like,
be
I don't want to talk.
confrontational though. Like,
You know,
like they'll come in the space and you prep yourself for some bullshit. I'm like, don't prep for bullshit. Don't
you know what?
expect it.
You know what's crazy is that I usually don't even start it. It's usually people trying to come at me, and it's like, so here's my thing, right? I don't know if you're gonna get my perspective, right? I'm a scrawny Asian dude, okay, who was born in the Bay Area with a bunch of diverse people that think they can just push me around, all right? And coming into Dallas, where definitely no Asians are here, unless you go into Koreatown. What is it? They will push you around if you show weakness. So the moment someone like just decides to shit on me even a little bit, I will come back at you 100%. So you don't fucking mess with me. All right.
But your public enemy number one is the same person as you. It's men. It's men, like you and men. The only difference is that like the way you are with like anime or like nerd culture is like him with basketball. Y'all are the same person. That's why I don't know why y'all butt heads.
You know what's crazy? Med's actually not public enemy number one. Like I don't care about Med like that.
You could have fooled me. Well, I guess D Taylor.
I mean, like, you know what's crazy? Me and D Taylor like a lot of the same things, and we can talk about stuff actually like pretty cordial. It's just when he wants to like bring shit up, and I'm like, listen up, bitch. Like, I'm not no pushover, bro. You're not gonna
just be muting and laughing whenever you like.
No,
have the conversation.
Look, man. I just don't want to be known as that pushover Asian that you could just run over, because that's been perpetuatedly a stereotype in media for decades. I'm not allowing that. You know what I mean? You are not about to push me around like I'm a kid. I'm gonna fuck you up, bitch. Whether if
I'm like that with the band jokes now. Like it was cool when like people didn't know. It was cool when like, okay, I understand. Haha, yeah. Northerners don't know what like HBCU band is.
Yeah.
I get that. But like now it's public knowledge, and then like people who like I've never have had a conversation with are like, haha, band nerd. Like, I make more money from that scholarship than you've ever seen. So please stop talking to me.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I actually respect it more that I realize, like, you know what, this is how he's getting into school and not getting to debt. I'll respect it more. You know what, I get it for sure. What is it? And if we can go a little bit more personal, that's why I get a little frustrated with B-Souls, because he fits the stereotype too well. I'm like, stand up for yourself, bro, please. Like, just stand up for yourself a little bit more. Please be more aggressive. Like, do not let people just talk to you like that. You know what I mean?
At times he can be, but he addresses a lot. He's more what's it called? Like, he's less confrontational in public, basically, like where eyes can see, because he wants to maintain, I won't say an image, but he wants to maintain like that public relation. You know, he doesn't want any misconstrued of like someone's relationship. So like, even if it happens on the pod or whatever, like, best believe, like, once the cameras are off, he's like, hey, shut the fuck up with that shit.
You know what it is? It's because his main source of income is content creation. So it's like, I understand trying to keep an image and like trying to be like as friendly with people as possible. With me, this thing is just a thing I do as a hobby, and I don't need this for money. So I will. So I do not care. I will literally come back at you. And to run it back to my inspirations, all right, David So actually is the reason why I am the way I am towards people that come at me. Because he talked about how, so he's actually an immigrant. He became a citizen not too long ago, but he came to America when he was like a kid, so like maybe 5'6", if I could remember correctly. But he would tell me stories about how he was bullied and stuff because he was just a chubby Asian kid with glasses, and people think they could just push him around. And his parents, his Korean immigrant parents, owned a black beauty supply store as a living. So
that's crazy.
So he grew up around black people.
Omar would hate that.
Yeah, Omar would hate it, but it's actually, you know what's crazy? That's actually a stereotype in California, that Koreans own black beauty supply stores. But so he
Because
grew
the
up around.
cultures are so intermingled.
Yeah. Dude, it's so like way more similar than you would think. But so he grew up around like black people. I mean, he grew up around like minorities that think that they can push him around because he's such like a nerd. Like he looks like a nerdy ass kid to them. So he learned to just like fight back. He's like, if I'm gonna get bullied, I'm gonna make sure I'm the toughest person to bully. And he told me like eventually like those bullies and those people that like would like shit on him would just move on because they're like, this guy's too like difficult to deal with. So, you know what I mean. So that's really why I am the way I am, because I I hate being a stereotype. I hate being people thinking I'm submissive, people thinking I'm weak. I'm gonna come at you. Even if I end up like
Oh
getting
wow.
beat up, I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna make it difficult for you to
Yeah.
beat me up. So
The
that's
the
just my
only thing
thing.
about only thing about like going about just like conversations and just like daily life like that, like you ensure that like yeah, you'll never be taken lightly, but sometimes that chip on your shoulder does get too big.
A little bit,
And
yeah.
like it can like weigh down at points to where it's like, yeah, bro, like you're misreading the conversation. Like I just asked you how your day is going.
Yeah, you know what? And I haven't mentioned my wife in a while. I'm gonna just shout her out real quick, because that's kind of my shtick now.
Mm,
She did change me for the better. I'll give you that. I used to be way more unmanageable, I guess you could say. And she definitely made me softer, in a good way. To
yeah,
be like, you know what? There are just some moments where I'm just gonna shut up and just listen and not say anything because if I say something, it's not gonna be good. So I'm gonna just listen and be cordial. You know,
yeah.
she definitely made me better at being more respectful, especially in public settings. You know what I mean? So, there's that. Let's go. There's just a couple more things I want to ask you about. All right.
For
Um,
sure.
so you're very much into a bunch of different nerd culture type things. What would you say is your favorite form of media right now? Is it like anime, comics, video games, Marvel, DC stuff? What would you say you're into right now?
Right now, specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. It's July 19, 2023.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to say video games
Okay.
because video games this year, it's been a great year for video games in all genres and all mediums. But as I've been like getting back into video games this year, with just like kind of a resurgence of some of the games that I'd like to play. Um, what's it called? Like story based, like sometimes RPG, sometimes just like action adventure. Uh, with me getting deeper into that, I've recognized so much more of how video games are used as like a unique art form and like the things that make it like so different from any type of other storytelling. Because like if there's one constant between like everything that I love, it's storytelling. Even music. Like whenever I listen to an album, whenever I listen to music, whenever I listen to even a band, like a marching band or whatever, like how is the music used to tell a story? Tell a story
Mm-hmm.
of the personal life of the whoever's like saying the lyrics, the story of what this art form is, if it's just an instrumental, or the story of what kind of band are you an aggressive band, do you play a lot of whole notes and half notes, do you have like
Ooh.
crazy musicians who are playing like a bunch of stuff. So like I think that everything tells a story, and the way that I've seen video games be able to tell stories through like so many different forms of interaction, so many forms of like and methods um of like cinematics, of combat, of just different gameplay systems and RPG elements. Like it's so intuitive that I like I've started to respect it more as a medium.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
especially in a time where uh the big budget blockbuster movie is kind of falling apart to an extent, with not only the strikes, pro WGA by the way, and pro strikes,
Oh yeah, yeah.
um
Shout out to
get
that.
what y'all need to get done,
Yep.
at all costs, any cost.
Mm-hmm.
uh, what's it called? But see, and not only that, but also just like some of the box office returns of some Disney movies this year, of some Universal movies. Like the era of, okay, if you throw 200 million at a movie, you're gonna make 500 million return. That's over. It's not happening anymore. The
Mm.
era of, if you spend money on big actors, a lot of CGI, and great explosions, it's not guaranteed return
It's
anymore.
not happening
Uh,
anymore. Yeah.
I think that the dismantlization of those systems that have kind of like ruled film over the past 10 to 15 years, it's kind of caused a shockwave in terms of like some creators and some parts of Hollywood looking around and like, okay, what's next? Or what Netflix original is gonna change the world now?
Yeah.
What franchise is gonna take over now? What property is gonna like break way, and like, okay, if we're saying the MCU is dying, if we're saying Star Wars is dead, if we're saying Fast and Furious can't be taken serious and Transformers is a joke, what else is there? I think that film, in terms of the big budget film, is like
Mhm.
in that transition phase right now, and a lot of the projects that are coming out are like average to like above average. Um, Even same with anime to an extent. At least some of the anime that I watch. This past year or so, I've been like trying to branch out. I've been watching more older anime, as well
Mhm.
as like
Yeah.
branching out of just like shonen series and like action series or requiring a power system in some way, shape, or form. And although I've come across like some like really good series that have like joined my top 25 or that I just hold in high regard, I do think that a lot of like current present day anime that are coming out are in like a similar like identity crisis of like, okay, we went through an era where a lot of shonen were coming out, or just a lot of shows were coming out that were like this genre, or this they follow this formula, but instead of a power system, we're gonna have science with Dr. Stone. Instead of a power system, it's gonna be cooking. Instead of fights, it's gonna be volleyball. Instead of like, and
You,
that was an era of like anime.
you know what's funny is that me and RJ had a conversation about this once. We notice everyone who thinks anime isn't like working for them anymore are usually just shonen fans, because if you're a sci-fi mecha and a romance slash slice of life fan, you're eating right
Eating,
now. You're
eating
eating
like
right now.
crazy.
Isekai, if you're an isekai fan, you are eating right now. I'm just saying, like,
Mm,
it's well, in my opinion, there are better isekai coming out now than like back then, personally.
maybe all together. I still do remember some years of like, there being like I don't think there was any isekai in the last like 3 seasons or whatever that was like the show of the season, but
Oh, okay.
they might have been
I
like
guess.
overall better.
I
Honestly,
guess you could say yeah, but yeah, that's just my opinion. I think shonen fans are dying off because they're falling off anime, because the good ones are really just mecha sci-fi romance slice of life, for being
yeah,
honest. So
yeah.
yeah,
A lot of the better shows of these past few seasons have been, and I have to tap in because like I missed out on something like Ranking of Kings. I missed out
yeah.
on, well, I tried to watch The Great Pretender. It was just too weird.
It's okay. It's okay.
It was too weird to
Um,
me.
but
But I need to watch something like Raven of the Inner Palace.
mhm.
Um, I'd probably need to give what was the mecha that you tell me about?
Gundam Witch from Mercury.
Yeah, Gundam Witch. I
Yeah,
need to give that another chance.
yeah.
So
Every
so even
single
I'm at
yeah.
fault to an extent.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, a lot of like River and like T and a bunch of other people in our community that thought season one was kind of whatever. They all think season two of Gundam Witch from Mercury is like amazing, all of them. So, if that will convince you a little bit, but yeah, to end this tangent off, my top three anime of the year so far, not shonen. It's been Trigun Stampede, Gundam Witch from Mercury 2, and Bungo Stray Dogs 4 and 5. Both 4 and 5. Just
I'm
throw that out.
surprised to hear that Trigun is that high for you this year.
I love Trigun
I
Stampede.
loved Stampede. I
I,
really did like Stampede.
dude, people don't. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. When I originally became an anime fan, after shonen, my favorite genres are mecha and sci-fi. So, so, so Trigun Stampede was right up my alley. At least,
Yeah,
yeah.
for this year so far, The only things above a 7 I've given is Vinland Saga season 2,
Mm-hmm.
Oshinoko, and the two eights are Stampede and Heavenly Delusion.
Yeah. I'll be honest. I think Vinland Saga season 2. I think it's really good, but it's just unfortunate that too many good shows are out. It would have been in my top 3 if it wasn't for a bunch of shows coming out. So,
Yeah, and I will say I did drop like some of those. Like I dropped Level 99, I dropped Angel Next Door, and I dropped Skip to Loafer. Even though like I can see they're objectively good shows, like I just like I was watching
yeah.
like 5 stuff a season, and
Dang.
including those would have made it like 7 or 8.
Can you believe my anime weekly series now? I'm watching 10 shows.
Yeah. Yeah, you disgust me. You and RJ now. Well, not RJ now, but like RJ always. But you now have joined that crew of disgusting people.
10 shows, bro, and most of them are good. I'm not gonna lie, most of them are good to great. I'm not gonna lie.
Zone 100. I don't know. I don't know why anyone wants to continue watching it.
It doesn't. It doesn't. I don't think Zom 100 is a show that like clicks with you because, for me, Zom 100 perfectly describes what I'm going through right now. Type of like in terms of like in the workforce, type shit, and it's like
I can get the relatability, but like the story, like his story ends. Like it ends to me. Like I get like okay, technically the story that it is telling is he found new life, right? I view it as he escaped. Like he escaped. Like the story would the better the story that I personally like watching episode 1 and reading the synopsis and just like looking at the anime from like what I was trying to enjoy. If the entire season was like a flashback of those 2 years that he was working at his job, and then at the end they just recapped episode 1, that would be an 8 out of 10 anime to me.
I think what it is for me at least. I'm very in my slice of life phase right now, where I'm enjoying slice of life more, and I think Zom 100 kind of fits in that shonen kind of slice of life vibe, type shit. Kind of like apocalypse slice of life type shit. So, I think if you're not in that vibe, you're not gonna like it as much, or if you don't relate to what he's going through, you're not gonna like it as much. Like, I feel like you could even see like why it's popular and like why people
Well,
like it.
I
You know
can
what I mean?
definitely I can see why. I
Yeah,
know why like it people
yeah.
are calling
It
it.
just doesn't
But
click with you.
also though, I was right in terms of at least I think I was right,
Okay.
favoritism, I guess.
Okay, bro.
I think I was right in terms of saying that a large percentage of why it is clicking so much is because it's an interesting premise of like finding new
Yes.
life in the apocalypse after like workplace depression
Yeah.
in a season that's filled with sequels and like just like boring synopsis for other shows.
It's
Bless you.
definitely, yeah. Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's definitely this, it's definitely one of the more unique series out in recent years or in recent like seasons type shit. So yeah, I can definitely see what you're coming from. What is it? Off of anime because what is it? We talked about anime a little too long. Not gonna lie.
Oh, man.
No, you're good. You're good though. It's fine. It's just like, damn, I did not want to talk about anime too much because I have to do a weekly anime roundup in like 2 days. That's gonna be crazy.
Oh yeah, don't want to burn out.
Okay, just like maybe 2 more things. Is it hard for you to watch something knowing that you're gonna make a video about it? Like, it does it feel like work to you instead of fun?
Not really, because when when I go into something, excuse me, knowing I'm gonna
You're
make a
good.
video about it, which not only is it very rare, because I don't like rewatch full shows before I make a video on it. Like I have a bunch of video ideas on like shows that I know I've watched or movies that I know I've watched,
Oh,
and I
okay.
just like remember what I need to remember on it. Or like sometimes I'll go through my arc of like watching a bunch of analysis videos, and then I'll remember something I want to talk about, or like someone will mention something, and then I'll just go through like the wiki fandom page of like whatever
Mm-hmm.
show, and then just like make sure I remember the events right. So it very rarely happens, but even when it does happen, um, the way I watch media normally, like, is the same level of nerdiness and
I see.
analysis that I do in my videos. So like when I watched Arcane, uh oh no, when I watched oh my god, The Last of Us.
Yeah,
When I was
I was about to
watching The
say
Last
Last
of
of
Us,
Us. Yeah.
uh I wasn't even like watching it to make a video on it, but then eventually once I realized like okay, between the buzz and between the fact that like I'm trying to start incorporating video games in my content, this is going
Mm-hmm.
to be a great video idea. So like let me start, drafting up a video or whatever. I was still watching it the same way. Um because like I said, I'm just that nerdy. Like when I
Yeah.
I watched Elemental the other
Oh,
day.
you actually watched? I'm waiting for that thing to be on Disney Plus. I'm not gonna lie.
What? No, it's good. It's worth
I heard it's
it's
good.
worth a theater visit, to be
Okay.
honest.
I heard it was good, but I was like, I don't know, man. Pixar's been disappointing me a little bit lately, so.
They have been on a bit of a cold streak, but this I can guarantee you this isn't one. I mean, it's not some profound story. It's like
Okay.
it's a racial immigrant allegory, but it's done very well.
Oh, racial
And
immigrant allegory. Okay. I
yeah,
like
and
that.
it's done very well. It's done with a lot of care. But like I was watching that movie, going alone in the theater, just watching it. Um, but like in my head, I'm recognizing like, oh, okay, this is uh this is an allegory to this. This is blah 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 blah. Okay, that's the end of this character arc. Oh man, this theme is like really prevalent. Oh my god, the world building um with the way that this does with the way that Pixar once again shows like okay, this is basically our power system. Like the entire world is full of elements, and like the entire film is uh littered with like montages or instances in which they're showing you like how the physics apply to the world. And then I won't spoil, I guess.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
Pixar romance, but like um later on, all that build up and like showcase of the physics, it pays off in a way. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but like while I was watching the movie, I just recognized that. I don't think I'm gonna make a video on like specifically Elemental, but
Okay.
like I might make a Pixar video on like why they love like minority stories or whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
like I might just include a little mention of Elemental, but it doesn't. To be honest, it doesn't change how I
Okay.
watch media like at all.
Okay, that's interesting. I'm not gonna lie, because I think from what I just me personally, what I've noticed is if I were gonna make if I know I'm gonna make a video about this show, it instantly like kind of doesn't make me excited to watch it. You know what I mean? Because it feels like work sometimes. You know what I mean? I definitely want to take your route of like if I watch this and I really like it a lot, then I'm gonna think of a video to make out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's probably the route I'm gonna have to take. Oh, and
That's
one
also
last.
because I
Oh,
pre-plan things on my fault, but like
yeah.
that's because I pre-plan things like crazy ahead. Like I literally pulled up my Google Doc
Uh huh.
uh of like my video topics. First off, half of these are from June. Jesus, I
Jesus.
really dropped the ball. But also I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 ideas on here with like full descriptions to like format a script on it. And like honestly, none of these are built on a specific show or property. Like I have some videos that are just like a conglomerate of things I want to talk about from different shows, because I remember telling you and like even some people that like the meta now for like a lot of analysis content, it
Mm-hmm.
isn't to talk about a specific show. It's to talk about a theme and then bring a show or a group of shows in there,
Yeah.
so you can just like put multiple subjects in the thumbnail, talk about multiple shows, and so you're not
Right.
beholden to okay, now I'm a Last of Us creator, now I'm a Star Wars creator, now I'm a science fiction video games creator. I
Exactly.
am
Yeah.
just someone who talks about movies. I just happened to talk about Disney this week.
Right.
And so that's what a lot of these videos are, but I know that's a luxury that someone with like a more established platform, or someone who just like prefers to make videos on one-off subjects. Doesn't
Mm-hmm.
have.
Yeah, whenever I love this guy, but Meta, yo, I love JoJo's, but I can't do only JoJo's content, bro. Like, I don't know how you do it. I don't know.
I could never.
Anyways, last question, and then we could wrap this up like a condom. Um, what is it? uh,
Throwback.
when,
Throwback.
when is your next video coming out, dude? I'll be honest, I love reacting to your videos because, for one, to me they're funny, and two, I just want to see you succeed. So when is the next video coming out? It's been 45 days in counting. I'm waiting for the next Kardiac K content. Where is it, bro? Where is it?
It should be, because I already have it recorded. It's already recorded.
Come on, edit it, bro. Come on.
It's been recorded. I've been what's it called? It's been a mix between some slacking, but a lot of just like seems to be a constant theme with some of my projects of just like busyness
Yeah.
of either personal life or even some like mental stuff sometimes. Um, I'm hoping to get back in because I start band camp in like 12 days.
Jesus, bro.
But here's the thing: where I know where I will be living, and I know what my situation will be, as well as the fact that this will be coming with me. So videos will continue.
Nice.
It'll be it won't be going back to the once a week once I'm back on campus. It might be like once every 2 weeks or once every like 10 days. But specifically the next video, it'll be up before I leave here. It'll be
Okay,
up before I leave.
Bet.
So within the next 10 days, I might try to push it. And again, it depends on the mental.
Right, of course.
But there is a world where I do get 2 videos out within the next like 10 days or so.
I cannot wait when that happens, man. I cannot wait.
So yeah, because it's typed up. The second was typed up. The first was recorded.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, of course. Well, yeah, that's kind of it for this video, guys. It's been great having you, Kardiac. Yo, we talked for an hour and a half, bro. Like,
I'm seeing that.
We could talk for a while. We didn't even get into some of the stuff I actually really wanted to talk about. We could save that for next time if you ever want to come back on.
Yeah, I'm completely open.
Okay, bet, bro. Because we didn't even get to why you like Nikki Jakey so much. That'll just be for. Hey, we'll save it for next time. Save it, bro.
Naked Jacob, we will get to you.
Yeah, we will continue. But yeah, shout out to Kardiac, man. I'm gonna have his link to his channel description down below, and he did say, well, I don't know when this video is gonna be uploaded, but by the time this video uploaded, he should have at least one video up. Hopefully, we'll see. Anyways, love his content, great guy. I want him to be monetized so bad, so please support him. Yeah, any thoughts? Any last thoughts? Anything you wanna plug?
Well, first off, I don't have thoughts. I love women. Second, yeah, I have a YouTube channel. Follow me or subscribe to me. I'm out of practice on this. This is crazy. But yeah, I appreciate you inviting me on. I love this series that you're doing. It's just like interviews with like content creators and stuff.
Yeah.
Hopefully it gives like anyone who's watching like insight on either some of the creators just like in the community, or like specifically tips or things to take away from how to study content or how to go about it.
Yeah, I like this series a lot. Definitely that video I did with Ina Q and RJ like really opened my eyes to like what I actually like, and this is fun. I'm not gonna lie, this is hella fun. Yeah, but yeah, guys, we're gonna close it out here. I hope you guys like Rush Hour 5. Hopefully it was as funny as the first trilogy.
Shout out Jackie, man.
Shout out Chris, man. Chris Tucker, the guy that didn't get slapped by Will Smith. That Chris.
Man. How is Rocky doing?
Did you just real quick before we close this off? I was too old when I realized Chris Tucker and Chris Rock were different people. I was too old to realize that.
It's so crazy because growing up, I didn't even know who Chris Tucker was.
Yeah.
I truly did not. Like, there's not many things I've seen with him in it because like I didn't grow up. I didn't watch Friday until like a few months ago.
You didn't see any of his stand up, I'm guessing.
I didn't grow up on stand up at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not a single. The first stand up show that I watched was Gabriel Iglesias.
Oh, really?
And his Netflix special, yeah, like
interesting.
In 2020 or 19, something like that.
Dang.
And then I went back and saw some Kevin Hart stuff. I went back and saw some
Dave Chappelle type shit.
Some Dave Chappelle stuff and his Netflix special as well.
That's crazy because he hates George Lopez now. But you know, other than that,
why?
No, some Mexican beef. I don't know, bro. Apparently, like George Lopez and Gabriel Iglesias hate each other's guts or something. Well, maybe hate's the wrong word. They just don't like each other. But anyways, thank you guys. I'm pretty sure at the beginning of this I'll figure out a name for what this is because I love discussions. I love discussions with my internet friends, people I respect a lot. And honestly, I just want Kardiac to make content again. So this is another intervention for that. So. Yeah.
Another intervention.
Please, just make some content. Anyways, thank you.
We'll go back to it.
Yeah. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Watch Rush Hour. It's a great trilogy. Just remember, it was made in the 2000s. And I'll catch you guys later.